So actually, we as a consumer, we don't
Are you aware of the average per unit?
All of you are kings and queens in your own home with your own throne, and you can sit up and decide and let the business continue to woo you.
Welcome to another episode of Consumer Voice. This is the in-house program of the Consumer Protection Council, CPC, that tells you all about your rights as a consumer and what to do whenever you feel they have been breached. Today, we are discussing contract terms, what you need to know. To discuss this, I have an expert from the Consumer Protection Council. You can expect an enlightening episode. Still on the program are our usual segments, but first, this is what consumers have to say. Stay with us.
I go through terms and conditions before I sign. You know, I do that. Once it involves money, I do that. I read it properly. I go through the terms and conditions before signing it.
So in my office, I'm a procurement officer, and anybody I come in contact with in the area of contract agreement, I usually ensure that such person reads the content, as in if he has any question, ask before signing. I think that is how it should go.
Those terms and conditions are not stated. You don't even see it. They will say terms and conditions apply, and you don't see the things in the item when you are signing. Some of them, yeah, I do read them. Some of them, I just risk myself and sign them. Well, you know, it's not the best. I advise, even to myself, is to take time and read it or go through this because of the legal implication.
Me. I've really learned a lot of lesson about terms and conditions. So I prefer, if you are coming to open an account, they will tell you what they like and what they hate. So you go through it. If you are okay with it, fine. If you are not okay, you let go.
At least before signing on anything, you have to check it. You have to know what it really contains. So to me, I can't just sign anything without going through and check what it entails.
If I'm going to agreement with somebody, sure you understand, I have to read and understand everything written there. And if I don't understand, I have the right to take it to my lawyer to seek his opinion. Okay, what do you see? What does this mean in legal terms? What does it mean? To know everything about it, so you understand. Right? Just give me something, I just sign, and and we have agreed. No, it's not done that way.
Yes, I go through terms and conditions because I like to know about the terms and conditions, because sometimes if you're not sure or you don't know the terms and conditions, you might lose some cash or whatever, or have problem in future. So I always try to know the terms and conditions. So I always ask to know even my own phone, my SIM card. Before I subscribe for a particular line plan, I always try to be sure, so I don't lose on the process.
If you don't read the terms and conditions before signing it, it's not really advisable, because anything you want to do, you have to go through it if it's actually okay before you can possess that thing. But if you did not go through it and you sign it, it might cause another problem.
Well, I don't go through terms and agreements. Once I see what I want, what I feel I want, I hear something that is interesting, I subscribe to it. We take our time to make sure that what's in the content is really what we want. Get to know the full details of the terms and agreements, and also just to be aware of what we want. That's just it.
I think more enlightenment should be carried out. You people can go through orientation agency or the media, to enlighten people about this, because a lot of people might have fall victim. Millions of people might have fall victim. And another aspect of people is that they are always in a hurry. Sometimes the terms and conditions are written, but not as bold. You see, not as bold as it should be. A lot of people have to go through, critically, for them to be able to, to obviously know what they are talking about. but some don't care. They are just in a hurry to make the money. You understand? So it will be necessary for you guys to go through the orientation agency or other media to educate people more, so that people will not be falling victim anymore. I think that's the best way of curtailing such thing.
Welcome back. Today I have with me in the studio Mr. Akoji Achimogu, Assistant Chief Legal Officer here at the CPC. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks for having me.
From the point of view of the consumers, can you tell us what a contract is? I mean, today in the marketplace, what would amount to a contract?
Well, let me say that basically a contract is between two parties. They come together, they agree on what they want to do. That's the traditional form of a contract, but in contemporary Nigeria, contracts are taking different forms. I mean, you fill a form in a bank, you're entering into a contract. Mm-hmm. The communication service provider sends you an SMS and you say yes. You're entering into a contract. You buy something online and it has terms and conditions, you're entering into a contract. So they come in different forms. I know that most people have this feeling that for you to enter into a contract it has to be written. That is not true anymore, because more often than not contracts are entered between people who are thousands of miles apart these days. So these forms of contracts have come into play, and consumers need to know a lot about them.
Okay. From the picture that you have just painted, consumers get into several commercial transactions on a regular. With your experience here at the CPC, what would you say are the usual mistakes that consumers make in engaging service providers or, product suppliers?
When we work for our money, we are not in a hurry. We have to work 8 hours a day, for example. But when it comes time to spend our money, we're in a hurry. Most times we don't take the time to read up the terms and conditions. Now, don't forget that these terms and conditions are the bedrock upon which the contract is built. If there's a dispute and there has to be redress, okay, you would have to resort to those terms and conditions. So if you blot over the terms and conditions and then you sign something that you never intended, okay, or you get into a contract that you did not, I mean, there's no meeting of the minds before the contract is entered into, then you'd find that what the law would simply do is enforce what you have agreed upon. Mm-hmm. So you should never be in a hurry. You should always read your terms and conditions. And especially for our consumers in Nigeria, some of our consumers are not literate. The question I ask is, why would you want to enter into a contract unadvisedly? You have your lawyer, you have your brother who is literate, there's even somebody in the shop where you're buying from who can interpret some of these things to you. Why don't you ask questions? So those are some of the things that we see consumers doing, and then they come to us and then they make it very difficult for us to be able to do anything for them because they have tied their own hands by themselves because they're in a hurry. Yeah.
Are you saying that an illiterate or, can get into a contract that actually binds him, irrespective of the fact that he didn't understand what the contract said?
No, there's what is called at law consensus ad idem. There ought to be a meeting of the minds. However, you must understand the fact that in spite of the fact that he's illiterate, okay, there's a long and windy road he has to take to prove the fact that he did not understand the contract he was entering into once he enters into it. So what we're saying is, if you are illiterate and you're not very enlightened in the area of reading and writing, well, we're saying